Welcome one and all to F1 2021 and welcome to the F2 Hotlap and Setup series. We're here down under in Melbourne, Australia, racing around the Albert Park circuit, the 5.33 kilometres, 16 corners and 3 DRS zones to get our hands on. No race in 2020 or 2021, but hopefully it will come back with its new revised sort of layout in 2022, third round of the season, I believe. Our lap, though, around the circuit put us P5. Pretty good, I think, in my mind. Australia, it's always a difficult one with the lap times, but nevertheless, pretty happy with the lap overall. And we found a lot of time in certain areas, which we hopefully will look at in a minute. 9 out of the aero, really high on the aero. You've got DRS to help us with a bit of overtaking as well, so that's not a problem. 20% on, 80% off for the ramp differential. Suspension geometry, maximum cambers, and then minimum toes. Really help with the grip overall on the circuit, and just a lot of medium and high-speed corners around here. And again, because of that, we've gone quite firm on the front suspension and front anti-roll bars, helping the turn in and the rear a little bit soft up. That's sort of a trend I quite like. So in this game, a little bit oversteery, which is just sort of my kind of style. And the ride height 2.4, another sort of common thing for these sort of level of curbs we're seeing. 56% on the brake bias, another sort of favourite of mine. It's either sort of that or it's kind of dead on 50. And the tyre pressures, again, just keep that sort of suspension nice and firm. We've gone quite stiff on the pressures. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight, DRS wide open as we run down towards turn number 1. A really important spot to pick out your braking because this turn 1's very, very difficult. Just around that second red ball on the side there, and you've got to clip that curve on the inside. Use the AstroTurf available to you on the left-hand side. DRS wide open now as you head down towards actually turn 3, of course, on to the DRS zones. Pick about getting around the 100-metre board, get the car down into second gear, nice and tight on the curving on the inside, and get back to the right-hand side to open up turn number 4 as we're almost in a car park now. Use the track to the right-hand side if you have to, and now through turn number 5, we'll almost go flat out here. Little bit of a lift, and full commitment now to the end of the first sector towards turn number 6. Really jump on the curve, then we go a little bit deeper than I probably would have liked to. You can use that curving on the exit on the left-hand side to your advantage if you do run that little bit wide now. Into the heart of middle section, now the turn 9, 10 chicane. Drop it down the gears in the second gear. Run a little bit wide. Have a bit of a moment on the exit. Just about holding together. Lost about a tenth of a second there. And now running towards the very demanding turn 11 and turn 12. So easy to invalidate here. Throw the car and really get nice and tight. To open the second part, we're going to have that little bit of a lift. We lifted a little bit too much though, than I probably would have liked to my liking. And nevertheless, losing about half a tenth there. Down towards turn 13, end of the third and final DRS straight. Use the curb on the left-hand side if you can. We almost lose the car a little bit now as you throw the car into turn 14, keeping nice and tight and running wide, picking up the speed as early as you can. Heavy braking zone. Turn 15 and 16. Really struggled. The car sort of wanted to step out a little bit on, but on this lap, we just managed to keep the steering input minimum. And on the exit, the final corner, using all the track available to us, really stamping on the power and fighting about 0.2 of a second. 1 minute 32.332. That was our lap. P5 on the leaderboard. We'll have a look at the off-board, trying to pick a little bit more of the lap. Because that, again, some of the recent ones, the corners come thick and fast. And just sort of hard to talk through them all at once. But nevertheless, down towards turn number 1 we go. And such an important braking zone for this one. You really want to pick it out. Almost want to go a little bit early. You want to try and carry the speed through the corner as best you can. Clip that first part and then use the AstroTurf almost to hook the car around, put the left tyres on it. And now you're going to get the best run down towards that heavy braking zone of turn number 3. Using all the track to your left-hand side as you turn in. Opens up the turn in and get back towards the right, like we said earlier. And you can sort of use that little bit of runoff there just before the big sausage curb. Full commitment through turn 5, a really high-speed corner, quite an underrated corner, especially in the F2 cars, because that less downforce. But you would want to attack the curve a little bit better at turn 6, and doesn't mean you have to jump on the turn 7 curves as much. But nevertheless, we've got a good run through there, and now it's sort of down to turn 9 and 10. Another heavy braking zone. It's sort of a chicane, really, as it opens up, and it's quite an important part, quite a long straight, sort of alongside the lake that sort of makes up most of Albert Park. Flat out now along the sort of what seems to be a highway here in Melbourne. And we get a great onboard shot now. Throw the car in quite tight and early. Really jumping on the curve. Over the second part, we do lift a little bit more than we would have liked to. We could use, we're curving a little bit more to the left. That is sort of, being a little bit more risky. We'll try to see if I reined it in a little bit on that lap. Using all the track available to us, and again, doing the same on the exit. Turn number 14. Real commitment, real throw the car in there. And down to the heavy braking zone of 15. Really want to go nice and tight on the curbing, open up and get back to the left-hand side because it opens at the final corner. We did a really good job of that and get on the power as quickly as you dare. Full throttle now, well before you get onto that curbing. And somehow we just didn't manage to invalidate there. But nevertheless, that's a lap of Australia. stereotypically the first round of the season. It's going to be round number 3. We have missed a little bit. It's had, it brings good vibes to the first round, but despite not being sort of the most traditionally exciting race. But hopefully we'll be back soon and back with a bang. Hope you've been enjoying Mexican Grand Prix weekend. We'll see you later.